everyone, welcome back to RTS and welcome back to another episode of Reduce the Spending or Saving Money or Tips and Tricks, whatever you want to call it. So I have about 9 things I want to talk about today and some questions I had gotten and a couple things we figured out as subscribers and on this channel, so I thought let's just share. Okay, so first of all, I want to talk about, fall's coming up, and for some of us that means fall cleaning, and we just did a summer space shape up, which I'll have that linked below. And I wanted to share that one way that I spruce up my space every season, every 4 months, is that I find these placemats at Walmart of all places. And of course, this is a new one that just came out. Of course, it has a mason jar and flowers. Well, hello. Yes, wood grain. Oh, yes, come to mama. And then of course the back is just more of a floral spray. And then also too, they have this one that is more of a farmhouse. That's all the trend. And one side says gather and the other side says family. And I wanted to show this because in the last year or so, I have found these, of course they're in the home and kitchen section. I think they're like $1.88 or something like that. Not very expensive. And so what I do is I spruce up my desk, because as I'm looking forward, I have a big hutch type desk, and so I put one of these in front of me, and so I'm looking at a different scene every season for $1.88. Yeah, so I just wanted to show this is just a little inexpensive way to spruce up and shape up your space where you're sitting, where you're crafting, where you're doing your fun things. And for $1.88. Yes, I mean, I love this. And honestly, they're placemats, but you can use them in your home. You can actually use them as mats, for crafting, things like that. But I use them as a little scene. Yes, I just prop them up on a wooden plaque and I just put it in front of me and I look at it for a few months. So I wanted to share that. So while we're talking about, what am I talking about? Placemats. Okay, let's talk about something else. Oh, I know, because of shaping up your space. That's what I wanted to talk about. So let's talk about something else that you can shape up your space. And I get a lot of questions about this, but this is not my table. This is a poster board, okay? A $1.99 poster board by We Are Memory Keepers, and you can find them at Hobby Lobby, okay? I don't know if they're on sale. I don't get there a lot, so I don't know if these ever get on sale and when they go on sale. I don't know that. But I wanted to show that this is be another inexpensive way to spruce up your desk, your crafting area for the fall. We want to do a lot of scrapbooking, so why not make our space a little pretty? Okay, so I wanted to talk about these because they cost $1.99. Now here's one. Again, these are by We Are Memory Keepers, and I'll probably take out 3 lights and 2 cats. No, I don't have any cats, but you know what I'm saying. Okay, so here's another one, and some of you may remember that this was actually a design of a paper at one time, and so I wanted to make sure it said $1.99. Yes, $1.99. We Are Memory Keepers, and this one is called Mint Floral. Okay, I have this one. Okay, now I started out my channel using this one, and then I thought it looked a little dark, but then at the time I didn't have as much lighting as I do now. And let's see what this one is called. This one is called Wood Brown. Okay, very pretty. Definitely a quick way. $1.99. Yes. Now, oh wait, I want to give you a little tip on that. Okay, for $1.99. Now I'll show the one that I'm using right now, but I have a second one of this. Oh no. Oh, I have another one. Okay, so let me show you something. So if you get to the store, which is what I faced with about a year ago, no, 6 months ago, I went and they only had one, and it's kind of like the one I have that I'm using now as a backdrop, and it was all banged up. I mean, all banged up, but it was just the edges, and I thought, well, for filming, I could probably still use it. So when I took it up to the register, I asked the gal at the register if I could get a discount on that, and so the manager came up and he says, how about 99 cents? So if you see some that are binged up, and you can get them for 99 cents, I'm talking binged up as far as the, the edges. Just the edges, you don't want it all binged up, because if you're going to use this as a work surface, it's not going to last long anyways. So if you can get a discount, it doesn't hurt at Hobby Lobby. If you ask in a nice manner, would there be a discount on this because it's binged and banged? Sometimes the manager will come up, and if he's having a good day or she's having a good day, you'll get it. Okay, so I got a couple of these for 99 cents. Well, I no longer have those ones, but for 99 cents. Okay, so there's that one. And then of course there's the one I'm using now. Okay, and what do they call this one? Okay, this one is Wood White. Okay, and then there's also a polka dot, and that's probably what it's called. It's probably called polka dot. white, just called white, but it's a white polka dot. Now I thought maybe for the holidays to use this one, but I don't know. You gals will have to tell me. Is that a little too distracting? I don't know. The dots, I don't know. That might be a little wonky on film, and it might be a little wonky when I'm doing some scrapbooking. You know, I have vertigo issues anyway, so I don't know if I want to add circles to my ever evolving, you know, the way my head spins anyway. So. Okay, but I wanted to talk about that, and I also want to talk about cutting mats. Okay, so I wanted to show that I got a lot of questions about, oh, where did you get your desk? No, it's not a desk, it's poster board. And excuse me, is it not only poster board, it's a $1.99 poster board that can be found at Hobby Lobby. Okay, now I wanted to talk about cutting mats because we're going to talk about something else. Okay, now so this was what I used for a year or so, a couple years before I started filming, and then also too I had a hot pink one, and then before that I had a Fisker's gray one, and then I had a green one. You know, I've went through cutting mats. You know, I've been scrapbooking a long time, and you know, something I didn't realize until I started filming, that I'm someone, I don't need a cutting mat. Now, go with me on that. I've always used a cutting mat because I thought I needed a cutting mat, but I never use it as a cutting mat. I just used it as a work surface. So that was something I wanted to say, you know, to reduce the spending. If you're not going to use a cutting mat as far as, you know, your picks and your knives and your things like that, your scissors, and you know, you're not going to cut into it, there's no need to buy a cutting mat if you're never going to be cutting into it. I don't do a lot of that type of thing. If I do, it's fussy cutting or I'm using my trimmer. I don't do this thing a lot, you know, on my, not saying that it's not a good tool to have, but these can be expensive. Now, I wanted to bring this up for two reasons. One, you may not need one, so don't spend the money. They can run about $30, okay? And then I've seen them on Amazon for $100. And then if you're a quilter, you know how much these types of things can be. I just saw one in a specialty shop, and it was close to $200. $200 for a cutting mat. Oh, that can buy a lot of paper. But okay, back to the thing at hand. If you need a cutting mat, maybe you don't need a cutting mat, but if you do, look around. There can be sales. Also to use those coupons, and also to check Tuesday morning, because they usually, I've seen that they've carried these for a couple years now for $15, okay? And it's teal, it's pretty, okay? Better than the hot pink, because hot pink to me, I think is very reflective of a color. It's it's a hyper color for me, okay? But if you like pink, then there you go, okay? So I wanted to say, if you need a cutting mat, see where you can get it cheaper, and maybe at the end of the day you don't even need a cutting mat, because I've been using this type of backdrop here for about 4 months, and other than having an edge for my T-square ruler to rest on, because on a cutting mat, okay, and I'll try to move this over, this right here, this was absolutely my favorite thing of this cutting mat, was having my T-square ruler go up and down on the edge of my mat. I loved it. That was probably a little too fast. I'm sorry. Okay. I loved that. It helped me line up things very easily. Now, I was trying to find one like this that was even longer, and I'm not really having too much luck with T-square rulers these days, but I am on the look for one. So, you know, I never thought until I started filming that, oh, now I need to put that somewhere, that I thought, oh, I always had to have a cutting mat. Well, I've been scrapbooking a lot over the summer. I haven't even used a cutting mat. So, you know, it's one of those things you see, you think everybody has it, so you need it. Maybe you don't, okay? So don't buy it if you don't need it. Now, if you're someone that's going to be doing a lot of cutting into your mat, then definitely you need to look at getting a mat. But you can look at them and get them cheaper. Okay, so let's talk about more cutting mats and chopping mats, okay? I want to talk about, oh, I just lost my little piece. What did I lose? Man, I got poster board laying around. Cutting mats. Oh, man. You would think I'd know what I'm doing. Oh, back to that We Are Memory Keepers poster board. What I wanted to say is, if you're not doing any filming, they have a lot of other ones other than I just showed. They even have a couple metallic. I think they even have one that looked like clouds. And that would be very calming and very peaceful for your space. So, but I had to pick ones I didn't think were going to be too busy for filming. But I think basically I'm going to have to be settled to this one due to all the lighting and the reflective nature of things. I'm probably going to have to stick with this one. But it's beautiful. It's wood grain. I'm there. Okay, so let's talk more about cutting mats. Now, these are called chopping mats, and I'm going to get a glare, and that's okay. We're just going to have to deal with it. Is I want to show that this is something you can find at the Dollar Tree. You get 2 of these for $1, and they are 11 by 14. Lord, something else went falling. Anybody want to take a bet as how soon I'll trip over that cutting mat? Yeah, in about 2 minutes. Okay, 11 by 14. Okay, it even says on here, carving, chopping, and crafts. Well, I tell you what, I just never thought until someone had showed me, I don't know, 3 years ago, that you could use these for, you know, if you do mixed media and things like that, this would be a very inexpensive way. Also, too, if your children does a lot of this type of thing, you want to protect your table surface. If you want to protect your table surface, these type of things would be inexpensive rather than just using newspaper. And then rather than pulling out your Tim Holtz mixed media, you know, that brown mat that we have, splatter mat, you could definitely use these. Okay, now once in a while you have to be careful. They do have a little sharp edges, so if you have little ones, just keep that in mind. Sometimes it can be a little sharp. Okay, you know, they're $1. Where do they come from? Do I even want to say? They're imported. Oh yeah, they're imported. So anyways, yeah, probably China. Anyways, 2 for $1. 2 of these cutting mats for $1, 11 by 14. So you can definitely use them as a mat and a surface, but also what I wanted to show is that you can use these and cut these up and use dividers in your craft space, your scrapbook space, craft room, however, and you can do them. I mean, they're 11 by 14, so you can do it however the size you want. At one time, I had cut these down the middle this way, and I use those in my paper category sections, okay? And I'll list that video below if you want to see more about paper categories. And so then up here at the top, then I would label what my sections were. Now, one tip I want to give, if you want to use these as dividers, which is absolutely a great way, inexpensive way to use for dividers, do not use your label maker because that won't stay stuck on there. It just won't. You have to use a Sharpie, okay? So you can cut these, and so what I'm getting ready to do is every time I go to the Dollar Tree, I pick one up because I'm working on a project as far as my card making supplies, and so I'm using these for dividers, and I'll show that project coming up down the road. So I wanted to show these. Not only are they good for mats and work surfaces, but also good for dividers. Now, you're going to say, well, how do you cut those up? Well, I'm glad you asked because I'm going to talk about that next, okay? So again, Dollar Tree, 2 cutting mats, chopping mats, $1. Can't beat that. Oh, and speaking of the Dollar Tree, oh my goodness, I almost forgot to say this, okay? We're going to talk about cutting those mats here. Okay, so guess what I recently saw on a haul video, because my daughter and I were looking for something concerning mercury glass. And I honestly saw this lady showing stickers at the Dollar Tree this week, okay? And the stickers, of course, you know, if you're not someone who's heavy into scrapbooking, you would not know that's what they were. But guess where they were? They were Amy Tangerine stickers from Oh Happy Life, that collection. And some of you know that was a few years ago. They honestly have Amy Tangerine stickers at the Dollar Tree. Now, they're not marked American Crafts, they're not marked Amy Tangerine, they're just marked in a pack, but that's where they're from. Now, my question is, wonder if that is a copycat. Because I can't imagine American Crafts would sell to the Dollar Tree, but who knows? I mean, you wonder how that stuff works sometimes. I don't know. But if you have a keen eye and you're an Amy Tangerine fan, keep an eye out at the Dollar Tree. Yes, I have seen. It's from Oh Happy Life. You know, the one with the giraffe and the bright watercolor type of thing? Yeah, that was the line. And I saw those stickers and I was like, that's Amy Tangerine. Yes, at the Dollar Tree. Now, okay, back to those cutting mats. Sorry about that. But I wanted to show, if, you know, you never know where to look for scrapbooking supplies. Who would have ever thought? Amy Tangerine at the Dollar Tree, okay? And I have seen also, too, Prima. I have seen Heidi Swap, Project Life, and there was another one. I was surprised when I saw Prima at the Dollar Tree. Now, again, in crate paper. I saw that a year or so ago. Okay, so, and of course, that was when I followed products. I don't really do that too much anymore. So, these dividers, how do you cut them? I use my regular Fisker's trimmer, but I will use a blade that I have marked as an X. And so when I have a blade that has went dull, I mark it with an X, and then I use this one to cut my magnetic sheets, dividers, and things like that, because you certainly don't want to use a good blade for something like that. So keep a blade reserved, mark it with an X, use an old blade, and keep this with, you know, and keep a guide on it so you don't cut yourself or anything. And then keep this so that you can use it just for this type of product, your cutting mats and your magnetic sheets, things like that. Okay, now, why do I have these trimmer blades out? Because I had showed this in a video from, I don't know, back in the day, a couple months ago, and someone had asked about this recently, and I thought I would show it again. You absolutely can sharpen your trimmer blades with a nail file. Now, here's the thing. Don't expect them to go back to the way you were when you bought them, because I'm still on the lookout because I go through these a lot. Okay, now I'm a left-handed person, so I'm basically stuck at the trimmer I have. I can't look into the Caterpillar Pro and things like that because I'm left-handed. Everything has to be upside down. So for my trimmer, you see I use my trimmer this way. That's opposite from the way most of you use that. So a Caterpillar Pro and a Caterpillar Crop and all that, that won't work for me. So yeah, this is what I'm stuck with, and that's okay. I'm happy with that. Happy, happy, happy. Lifetime warranty with Fiskars, that's all I'm saying. Okay, so with a nail file, you just go and you basically, you know, I've seen some videos where that you go in and you can take the edge of this nail file and you can go to the edge. Just don't, you know, don't be so much with it, because, you know, the more you scrape this, the more you're going to keep filing off that point. So just do it a few times and you'll get a little bit of extension with your blades, okay? Nothing like, you know, another whole 2 weeks or something, you know, unless it depends on how much you craft, okay? I scrapbook a lot, so I go through these a lot, okay? Yes, I wish I had an endless supply, a lifetime supply of those. Okay, so now let's talk about ATG. Okay, so ATG. And where is mine? Oh my goodness, right here it is. Okay, so our lovely ATG gun. Okay, now I wanted to talk because I got a couple questions on this because someone had asked, where do I get mine? And then also too, someone had asked, what's the difference between the red and the pink? And so the short version of the difference between the red and the pink is that the Scotch in the red, this ATG, okay, Advanced Tape Glider is what it means, okay, we just call it the ATG gun, okay, is that the red usually it comes from actual Scotch company, and the pink usually comes from a big box store. And the reason the pink is at a big box store is because you use a coupon and you get it cheaper. Okay, so remember with that, okay, with the pink the pink handle that you find at Michael's, the reason you can use a coupon is because it's made cheaper. Okay, now I actually know this because I talked to a Scotch representative, because, you know, I talk to everybody. So the red guns, if you actually go through Scotch 3M deal or something like that, and if you get the red gun, they're made better, because the pink handle, the ones you find at the big box stores, those are made with plastic components more so than the red handle. So that's the difference between the red and the pink. Also, it's the price, but it's also how it's made. These are just made a tad better, okay? These puppies last, and also too, Scotch has great customer service if you have any problem. Okay, so now let's talk about the refills. I got asked, where do I buy my refills? And I buy all my refills, and they look like this, from Tape Jungle, and I will have their information listed below. Love that company, okay? Because first of all, free shipping. Well, that's a no-brainer for me, because sometimes you have to consider how much shipping is, whether you're getting a deal or not, okay? So something could be 20 cents cheaper when you figure in shipping, it really isn't. So I buy these quite a few at a time, but then I only buy it maybe once every couple of years, okay? So this is, I buy the 1/4, and so someone had asked, do you buy the 1/4 or the 1/2? I buy the 1/4 because I always looked at it this way. If I wanted the 1/2, I would just double up. But if I wanted a 1/4, I couldn't take away. Does that make sense? So I always buy the 1/4, okay? Now, some people would ask, do you have to buy the ones that says the gold, the acid, well, they're all acid free, but the one that's the gold label. I did in the very beginning, but no, it's too expensive. I scrapbook too much. I can't afford to have all of these in the gold label. And there is no difference. These work very, very well. Now, I want to show you how many. This would be 24 rolls, okay? And this is what it looks like when you buy from Tape Jungle. Each one of these ATG rolls comes in a cellophane package. Now, when I open this box, I take all of this out because this packaging just bothers me, and I throw all of them in a great big cookie jar, okay? That's what I do. Okay, now, this is 24 rolls, and you can go on the Tape Jungle website, and I'll have the link below specifically just for the ATG, because they sell a lot of everything, okay? If you love duct tape, Tape Jungle's the place to go, okay? So this is 24 rolls, and of course with anything else at Tape Jungle, the more you buy, the cheaper it is, okay? So you have to hit that drop menu, see what size you want, make sure you get the right size first, okay? I use the 1/4, okay? And so make sure you get the right size, and then you hit that drop menu, and it'll tell you for the more you buy, the cheaper it is, okay? Now this is 24 rolls, and so if you want to know what a case looks like, a case is 6 of these boxes, okay? That's what a case is, 6 of these boxes, okay? Now, my recommendation is find a friend or two, buy a case. That's the cheapest way. It's free shipping, and then divide it up that way. I mean, if you got 6 people to buy a case, that's 24 rolls, or even 3 people, and you each got 2 boxes, absolutely the best way to go. Absolutely, okay? So definitely look at, and I'll have that linked below, Tape Jungle. Definitely free shipping, and honestly, super fast shipping. I can't say that enough. Okay, now let's talk about the next thing up is this envelope punch board. Now, what I'm going to talk about is the 1, 2, 3 punch board, because I had a lovely subscriber, Leslie. She reached out to me and she said, can you help me? Because she has the 1, 2, 3 punch board, and she could not get her envelopes lined up because they were always just maybe a smidgen or an 1/8 of an inch off every time she went to make an envelope. And she was very precise in all of her calculations, and she knew there had to be something wrong as to why she could not get that exact measurement. So I did some snooping around, searching around. You know, I'm bebopping everywhere, folks. And so I found what Leslie needed, and it was a video, and I will have that linked below, and I will put on there 1, 2, 3 punch board fix. That's what I'll put it under. And so, and I think it's at the 6-minute mark. Leslie, if you remember, can you put that in the comment section below? And what I think was around the 6-minute mark, where the demonstrator had showed that in this one score, it is off a smidgen, okay? And so it shows exactly in the video what to do, and Leslie said it really, really helped, okay? So, and she said, please pass that on, because she said, if I had trouble with that, everybody else must have had too. So it's not with the envelope punch board, it's the 1, 2, 3 punch board, okay? And so this is the only one I have. I don't even use this enough, but it's one of those great tools to have, okay? You know, it's went through a couple of different phases and a couple of different stages, but it's still all in all a good tool to have. And so, Leslie, thank you for asking about that, and I'm glad I found a solution, but it wasn't me that came up with a solution. I just found the video that helped Leslie, so I will link that below. And again, Leslie said it did help, so if you're having if you have a 1, 2, 3 punch board and it's giving you a little bit of fit, it's not user error. There is something a little different you have to use with the board on that one score line. Okay, so now let's go to, another Dollar Tree find. Oh, are you ready? Okay, now I probably should have talked about this to begin with, but remember we were talking about desk surfaces and cutting mats and things like that. I want to show something. The next time you're at the Dollar Tree, okay, go to the craft section, the stationery section, and pick up yourself one of these art mats, okay? And so, again, this is, what size is this? 18 by 12, and you get, how many, 30, 20? What am I looking at here? 30 sheets. Okay, so what this is just big paper. But it's one of those things you can put on your desk just like this, okay? Honestly, you can open it up and use it just like this. Now you have an instant work surface, and it costs you $1. Yes, $1. So when you're doing some stamping, inking, all that type of stuff, you don't need one of those great big expensive Tim Holtz glass beautiful mats that has the black and the white. I mean, it's the greatest invention. I think it's a smart invention for mixed media gals. But if you're not a mixed media gal and you want to have something that you can use as a messy mat, okay, that's what we'll call this. We'll call this our messy mat for $1. And then when it gets too bad, rip it out or flip it over and start all over, okay? And so again, and you know what? This would be good for your kids too, to lay it down on the floor, because I remember when my little one was little and we would sit on the floor and we would color and markers and all that. You're always kind of just, okay, don't get too close to the carpet. Don't get too close to the carpet, you know? So we would always lay out a blanket or something, but something like this, you could lay it out, you know, put your other supplies on top of it, and you don't have to worry about, you know, crayons and things like that getting onto your carpet and things like that. So pick up 2, one for your kids, one for you. Yes, there you go. Again, $1, has 30 sheets. Now they have another one that has white paper. Okay, don't pick up that one. The paper is very, very thin. You may get a few extra sheets, but to me it's not worth $1. This one here with this brown, I don't know, taupe paper. Yeah, it's more like a construction paper feel. Okay, just flip it over. There we go. Messy mat for $1. I love this. Again, this is what it looks like. Yeah. What do they call it? I guess they just call it an art pad. Yes. Oh, love these type of things. Yeah. You want to make a kid's day brighter. Give them a box of crayon and an art pad, and then sit on the floor and play with them. Yes. That's worth more than $1. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so now let's talk about our last little saving money tip. Lord, I'm just running at the mouth here. Okay, yeah, I've been writing these down, and I just like, I gotta get this video done and talk about all these. And guess what? I used a whole roll of washi. I think this is my 4th roll that I've used. This was a big roll, and I used it. I was so excited. I had to show that, yes. And I often said, you know, we should keep these empty rolls as trophies in our scrap space. Yes, I can now throw that away. Yes, I finished a roll. Yeah. Oh, and you know, I should show that. Oh, did I throw it away? Okay. I showed this in one of my videos. If you have a roll of washi that's really hard to use, which it was really hard for me, take a piece of extra scrap paper, put it at the very end, and then you can use that. It helps you stabilize to help get that roll, you know, get the washi off the roll. And so I struggled and struggled and struggled with that until about 4 months ago. I got this harebrained idea to just pretend that's some scrap paper, and it just helped it pull off much, much better. I don't know what it was with the paper, but it worked. It worked. Okay, so now let's talk about a quicker picker-upper. Yes, okay. Now let's talk about this. Okay, so, you know, a lot of us use sequins and things like that. And we have little embellishments that we use. And, you know, if you don't have fingernails, I don't know how anybody picks these things up. But even with fingernails, some of these items are still hard to use, okay? So I wanted to talk about this because what I have in front of me is called a We Are Memory Keepers Quick Stick. They used to be called, now it's called Precision Pickup and Placement Tool. Okay, so it has 2 things. You know, it has an end here and an end here. You can use this for placement and things like that. Okay, it has a real pointy end, so keep that pointy end inside. And then it also has, you screw this off, and it has, well, no, sorry. You need to pull this off. And then it has just an applicator with some putty in it. That's all it is, okay? Works very nice. I think they're like $7. You can find them at Hobby Lobby still. Use a coupon. A nice little tool to have, okay? However, you do not need one of these to have a quicker picker-upper. And also, I'm going to link another video below by my online friend Tasha from A Date with My Craftroom, which I absolutely love the name of her channel. Yes. Now, she had showed a video a few years ago, and I wish I would, actually, it might be 2 years ago. I don't know. I lose track of time. And I wish I would have knew it because when this was empty, I just threw it away. I didn't know that you could refill that. So I'm going to have the video link below where Tasha shows how to use something like this putty. What do they call this? Putty? Putty tack? Undo pack? I don't know. It's just poster putty type of things like that. And you can take you would unscrew this. And then you do need a pair of pliers or a man around and to actually pull this out. And then you would fill this, where this is green, you would fill that with some of that poster putty, that type of thing. And then it works just the same. Now, Tasha already did a video on that and she explained it much better than I ever could. And plus, I don't have enough muscle that don't think I could ever pull that out. But she showed that. So definitely when this is a nice tool to have, but when it's empty, it's not done with, okay? You can absolutely refill it. I wish I knew that before I threw my other one away. Ooh, didn't know that, okay? However, you can make a cheap quicker picker-upper, and you don't even need one of these, okay? Now, it would be helpful to have some of this. Now, of course, in the school section and all that, this is, actually, you can find some on clearance, but I think this cost me like, I don't know, $1.88 or something. It's very inexpensive, and you get this entire, it says 80 pads on here. You will never use this in your lifetime. No, because it takes such a small amount, okay? And so what it is just poster putty or tacky. What do they have it used for? Oh, to keep things stationary, posters, things like that. Sticks again and again. Reusable, non-toxic, clean and safe. Well, there you go. Oh, made in Germany. Well, there you go. All right. Okay. So what you can do is make your own. Now, if you have a stylus or leftover stylus, don't use the one you use all the time because you don't want to have to keep reusing it. But like if you have leftover styluses, or I use these nail care sticks, you know, what is it? less than $1 for those. Orange sticks, I think, is the proper name for them. And then what you would do is you would simply just take a little bit. You don't need the whole pad. See, they're 80 squares. You don't even need a fraction of that. And you just rip it off. Think of it, you're getting a little piece of gum. And you can see the consistency. Look at this. Look at that. See what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what that is, okay? That reminds me of silly putty back in the day. We weren't allowed to have silly putty when I was little. No. That was a no-no, okay? And so you're going to just roll it up in a little bit of a ball. And you can put it on either end, okay? I like this beveled edge. I seem to use, well, I don't know if it would stick on that. I'll try it on the pointy edge, okay? And if you had a if you had a toothpick, you could use that. Toothpick, yes, okay. And so, just make it into a ball. And you probably don't need that much. I'm just showing that much, okay? And so you could do a few of these up at a time. Put some wax paper around it so it don't get dusty, because you know when dust hits anything adhesive, it's done for, okay? Just put some wax paper. You can make 12 of these up at a time, and then there you go. Quicker picker upper. Yes, all you need is some of this poster putty. And if you have college students, I'm sure you have a lot of poster putty around. And so then you just use that, okay? But like what I would say, I wouldn't get one of these and one of this out every time you needed to do sequins. I would probably maybe do 6 at a time. Keep them in some wax paper to keep that ball clean. There you go. Quicker picker upper, and you didn't even have to make a trip to Hobby Lobby for one of these, okay? And then you could use the other end for placement, okay? Which is exactly what this is. It's just a nail care. And I love these for picking up extra glue. Okay, you know, when you have extra residue of glue, I use that. Okay, so I think that was 9 tips. Yes, and I'll have all the videos linked below that I talked about. And if you have some saving money ideas and you want me to show them and talk about them, I would definitely like to have ideas. Okay, so let me know, because we can all learn from each other. Okay, come back to RTS, because you never know what we're going to learn. Bye.